Ito na ang pinaka-inaantay na selebrasyon! Excited na si Bibi! Marami pa siyang kailangang gawin para maging ready ang lahat.
Bibi, huwag masyadong ten. Focus!
Love to see a TSW Nocturne. You know, the Vietnam Nocturne. The Nocturne is one of the most banned champs versus this team, and always does have that extra little bit of power at Worlds.
Especially if you start to see MKOI going towards this more dive-orientated composition, like things like the Vi coming through for Elyoya in that jungle, having that disruption. If you've got a Kai'Sa that's trying to follow up, or activities for Jojo Pyun that he wants to get involved in, it can make things a little bit more difficult there. So already though, Rel taken here, trying to secure one of the last few remaining engaged champions, Leona and Nautilus, the two that remain.
Yeah, I mean, since Rakan, Alistar, and Braum are all out from Fearless, I do actually like it, investing in that really early to get that big AoE engage. And so pick up those AD junglers to pair with Aurora, any of the ones that we did mention. We didn't mention an Ivern, though.
Yeah, I don't think he counts as the traditional AD jungler.
No.
Looks like Team Secret Wales are going to move more towards that engage with the Vi. I love the Rel first pick or early pick here by MKOI, just because when Alvaro is on something he is comfortable with, where he can initiate, MKOI thrive, and that is exactly what they're giving him.
There is also the opportunity to swap this Aurora to the top lane. Hero has played one game of it in the past and does do relatively well into the Cassante, can look to bully it out in the early stages and still open up for Dire to have a good counter matchup if you decide to go for it. But there's that Vi Kai'Sa that we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. The dive comp here, and Kai'Sa, one of Eddie's specialties. With the Vi Aurora, it's straightforward. You're looking at dive. So MKOI, what kind of counter to dive can you draft? Lissandra certainly is one piece.
Has she been found? No. I
that's
love
the whole story, man.
Yeah. my mistake. I do like the Lissandra for Jojo. We have seen him bring it out already in the LEC, but instead the Xayah to avoid some of that engage. Makes sense. Don't want to leave it to get banned in the next round of bans.
Yeah. The counter engage that we're looking for, the safety there, the most classic matchup, I feel like, that we have historically in competitive League of Legends, the Kai'Sa versus the Xayah.
And now I believe you're just going to ban away anything that's good for into the Cassante for MKOI. Things like that Gwen can still be shifted, unless you are just assuming that Aurora is going to be moved up into that top side of the map. Could even look to ban away things like the Nautilus or the Leona if you really want. But yeah, I think just top lane matchup's going to be a good call. Make sure Mirwan's comfortable. And Mirwan has had fantastic performances on this Cassante when he's able to get going and have a good matchup. And I think that's what MKOI will be relying on once more.
Yeah, some exciting low health 2v1 opportunities maybe in his future. Meanwhile, as you say, expecting to continue to chop down on Jojo's champ pool here. Okay, the Victor is the one of choice as mid lane is really getting down there.
Bard banned away from Taki by MKOI. I'm looking like we've got jungle and mid left for MKOI, and we are really beginning to pinch that pool quite a lot. The Victor banned away, the Vex banned away. MKOI, like to pick their mid laner here, expecting that Aurora to go mid. You could, of course, go for jungle Neferi, an option, and it will be locked in for Elyoya once the weight of the game on his shoulders to a degree. We saw it in the Kiana game, we now see it with the Neferi. Need to get ahead in the early game, need to get the ball rolling, and it did work for MKOI when they started to get towards those team fights.
Also just another one that has that invulnerability, keep himself safe from being a potential dive pick from this Vi and this Kai'Sa. But as you say, you need to be that damage threat in fights, need to get the ball rolling. So I do like that we're seeing this last pick coming through for MKOI, so they can make sure that Jojo is comfortable and being able to enable this Neferi in the jungle.
Exactly. I always love it into the Vi because of the W for Neferi. And there you go, Medic. You were talking about the Jace early on. We do get the Jace coming through as well for their side.
The Jace does feel a little at odds with the rest of the composition though, because I traditionally would look more towards, hey, we want Poke and Ezreal and these kind of things. Whereas when I'm looking at Team Secret Wales, it is much more dive. So I'm curious if it is just a case of, hey, get some early goal in towards Hero, leave him as a split pusher that we don't really want to get involved in fights, and play through a strong 4v4 where it's Cassante struggling to answer for the Jace on the side.
Leona locked in for Team Secret Wales to round out their comp, gives them a bit of a long-range engage, which they'll definitely enjoy. The ability to get, you know, Neferi's invulnerabilities out, that core of the pack. She has to eviscerate away at a hover of the LeBlanc, but it's going to be Ari for Jojo Pyun, something he's so experienced on.
Yeah, that's what we were mentioning, because the ult buff on the patch as well. We're maybe thinking of seeing a little bit more of it, but as we get into the Fearless matches, we really get to it, and now you're going to be able to see him on one of the champions that he definitely was well known for.
And also just so incredibly strong in enabling these ganks towards the mid lane, trying to shut down the Aurora in the early stages and get Elyoya rolling. And this has kind of been the story of, hey, Alvaro working with Elyoya, playing towards that mid lane for so long in the LEC. Now they have to see if they can do it against Team Secret Wales, but Histo has been fantastic in working with Taki in their own right, in being able to play towards Dire, shut down any aggression in that game. We've even saw it in the start of game number 1, or sorry, over the course of the series in game 2, and now we just have to see if they can find that success here again.
Here we are, do or die for Team Secret Wales and for MKOI. Elimination or elation as the coaches bump fists and take themselves off the stage. It's all down to those 10 players loading into Summoner's Rift to see who goes through to 2-2 and plays in a couple of days' time, and who takes the flight home. For MKOI, it's all about vengeance. 3 times in a row, they have lost to an LCP team at internationals. PSG, GAM, CFO have all defeated them. Now Team Secret Wales just 1 game away from taking their spot in that 2-2 slot, and looking to prove that that LCP is not just the Flying Oysters.
And MKOI also said on Euphoria that they wanted to play against CFO, they wanted to right some of the wrongs from MSI, but the fact that here against Team Secret Wales, they may not even get past the finish line, I think would be incredibly disappointing for the fans, for the organization, for the players. And now they have to see if they can find that moment in Game 3 to bring them just 1 more day along.
Breaking some of the tension here with some friendly emo game.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. In the elimination game for each of them, still feeling very good.
I feel like there's an initiation ceremony for top laners that no one else knows about, where they go in, it's like, okay, this is where you go, and this is how much you can emote, and at this exact time you have to leave, and that's the rule.
And that's your problem playing against Miro, where you use that, and then 5 members come out of a bush and kill you. Yeah.
The little bait and switch, you know?
No such dirty tactics in this game, though. We've got honorable top laners this time around.
Dyer will get the ward across the wall onto those Razor Beaks. Foxfire out of Jojo Pyun.
ดื่มทุกเช้า
อร่อยทุกวัน
หอมกลมกล่อมเนสกาแฟ Blend and Brew อร่อยอุ่นใจไม่เคยเปลี่ยน
If you want to look strong, go to the gym. But if you want to be strong, do military workout.
Have Histo pathing towards his Jace lane, towards his pushing top lane. Isolated matchup up there. Meanwhile, Elyoya pathing bottom side, as is so frequent for MKOI. They really do need their bottom lane. Bottom side, as is so frequent for MKOI. They really do need their bottom lane to be in good condition.
And I think it makes sense, as you say, like Histo wants to be able to get up, get some deep vision in that top side, and just enable this Jace to play through the strength of the lane. I don't really think we'll see much in the way of dives, but just in allowing Hero to play as aggressive as possible is all you really want in that top lane.
Yeah, and for the MKOI side, of course, Elyoya wants, Supo wants this Xayah to be multiple items here, to be able to really carry this game. So far this series, it has not been the best for Supa, and they really are going to need him to do some work in this game, this final deciding one. Of course, Elyoya is on a champion. He can output some very respectable damage himself. We'll see if he can carry some of that damage too.
I think often dependent on the build. Sorry, for Elyoya. For Jojo. I thought you said Jojo instead of Elyoya. So I was going to say it's depending on the build for the Ahri, how much damage he puts out, because sometimes you see those slightly tankier Ahri builds, but Elyoya, as you say, will definitely put out quite a bit of DPS on that Neferi if he's able to get onto this backline, because there's always the risk. You jump in with a Hound's Pursuit, immediately you get stunned up with a Shudder Daybreak, you have Cease and Desist, you have Solar Flare to follow up, and you just don't get an opportunity to move as you dive in towards that backline. Hero with a slight lead over Mirwin on the top side, as to be expected in the ranged into melee matchup, using that ranged form to get the grasp stacks off. And Histo and Elioya on opposite sides of the map should both just take their own scuttlecraft.
Mirren does have to be careful about how aggressive he trades here, because there is a jungler on the top side of the map, and that wave will crash, and I think this is the signal for Histo to go, but
Mirren going in, look for the 1v1, and Topos goes in with the Pathmaker and just claps him! Smacks him between his and Topos. Histo will get one in response. In the end, Team Secret Wales will be happy with the extra assist goal.
And he puts up the emote at the end that says, I hate junglers. he gets his solo kill first, though, before the arrival of the jungler. In the end, of course, the extra assist on the kill does mean the extra 50% gold for the team. But Merwin here on his Cassante, you were talking about it already.
And the fact that you managed to get the early chain vest is so nice, because it's a tier purchase and some boots on the opposite side. Not really something that will try and push the lane forward, but it's a really nice job. I'm assuming jump, to the minion that had gone forward, and then uses that W to make sure they can get the auto attack. And the flip comes through, but Mirwin, he already got the job done. Really nicely played.
I actually really like using the Pathmaker instead of the Q3 there. It feels like the anticipation from Hero is I will look for the Q3 animation and then flash. But as soon as Pathmaker comes out, it's much more tricky to dodge away. As Dyer hits the weirding onto Jojo, but the way he pushed in, Jojo should just be able to get a recall off. Has gone for an early Ruby Crystal. We'll see where that build ends up going on the Ari, and Hero still winning out the trades on top side.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he'd try and go for the early Bramble Vest, to be honest, just because it is nice into some of these matchups where at least you're able to trade back effectively when you are getting auto attack down, some damage is going back. But the early chain vest is still incredibly nice. Again, you scale so well with resistances on Cassante, plus the fact you're just not going to get hit for as much is going to be nice, although Mirren is struggling a little bit as he gets back to lane.
Yeah, we'll see once again, because both junglers, again, re-clearing to opposite sides of the map, so the pressure is always going to remain. Jace just teleports right back up there, and after the deaths, kind of shrugs it off, gets back to pushing, back to harassing you. Meanwhile, is going to be traded for the pressure on the other side. Ooh, had to use the smite at the end. Stings a little bit, but not the biggest issue here, and we're still going to get the return.
Mirwin is level 6, has his flash, as does Hero, both of them holding on to it from that first fight. Histo looking for the flank position. Shock Blast going to hit onto this Cassante. Histo going in. Mirwin forces him away. Vault Breaker out with the plate over to Hero as MCoy secure the Drake.
It's a nice play from Histo, even if he doesn't get the kill, as you say, just putting that pressure down, keeping Hero safe, and trying to abuse the matchup in its entirety, even getting this Scuttlecraft on that top side, but bot lane.
The dive in with the Zenith Blade. Blade Caller coming out from Super to get the route onto Eddie. Heal was used by Taki in exchange for the cleanse from Super. Taki still looking for a little bit more here as he goes forward with the Oracle, just forcing Super and Alvaro away. Meanwhile, on the top side, Dyer looking for the dive. Another Zenith Blade onto Alvaro, but Elioya's on his way. Doesn't have the 6 yet. Alvaro flashing away. Cleanse flash out by Taki with the dive in with the Eviscerate. Meanwhile, on the top side, Histo and Dyer look for more. Taki low, gets away. No! Elioya gets him in the end. Super just surviving. Mirwin down to 300 HP as the dive materializes for Team Secret Wales. Mirwin looking for that all out. Pops the Pathmaker into the Vault Breaker. Hero flashes in. Will tank 2 tower shots though. And he's slain by the tower. Mirwin unable to proc an auto on him means that Team Secret Wales get out with a kill and not giving up any gold to Mirwin.
Yeah, no one else was taking right there. And in the end, it is answered on the other side. This is the kind of fun that you get when you have opposite side jungle paths. We did have Jojo stay mid though, so the Ari passively wins out by staying mid and pushing. His tempo is a little bit messed up there with the interrupt on the recall, but he did get the guaranteed push of the extra minion wave of the tower plate in mid too.
But that's why I was kind of surprised to see Eddie and Taki go for the fight on bot side. They were going for the dive on top, knew they were on the weak side, but still wanted to take the trade, and then as a result, they end up giving that kill across, so it could have been a bigger win for Team Secret Wales if the bot lane had just kind of played it passively.
Yeah, hey, Supa barely living too there on the edge.
Mirwin going all out. Hero doesn't have flash, and Mirwin's just going to chase him down with the Antopos. Gets it after the Q3. Zenith Blade from Taki missing towards that top side. Mirwin very happy in this 1v1.
Yeah, Merwin says, welcome to the series, Hero. Puts him down again on the Cassante. And that is going to be pretty big repercussions because there's no teleport for TSW to answer that. So Merwin gets to push the full wave into the tower on bottom side.
And this is why this man is so terrifying on this pick. He consistently seems to be able to find these moments where he can find the solo kill, get massive tempo leads for himself, and open up windows crucially for MKOI to find success in side lanes, even after he's just gone down. And now Histo, happy that he's able to pick up at least two of